All right, I'm on hole number 5 of the 2020 Winter Major. I'm in the opening round of the Ricky Division. Hole number 5. This is a par 4. Maybe. I did strip my device off. I've been having such bad lag issues. I did strip my device off and went back to factory specs, cleared up everything that was on it, loaded the minimum amount of stuff that I could for what I need for Golf Clash. And I do seem to be having much better. I'm not having the lag issues that I was having. So I guess I can continue to play the game because it was to the point where it was like unplayable. I'm going to shoot out to right here. The thing I don't like about it's getting down into this area right here is super easy. If you bring your quarterback any level and you set yourself up about 4 rings off of the transitional surface right here, you're going to be pointing off in this direction. You put on max curl, no overpower, you're going to just end up right there. Okay, you won't overshoot this, but you got to make sure that you're about no less than 3, but probably right about 4 rings. If you're using a rock and you're trying to get down here and you're using max curl, you want to be 5 rings off of this transitional surface, and you'll end up bleeding off right here. The thing I don't like about this spot is from here, you're still going to be in long iron. So if we draw our long iron arc, you're in long iron out here on the tip, and you're in long iron here. But from here, you've got this sand and this rough in front of you. It does open up the possibility to do a rough bump from this angle. But if you're trying to engage the green, you're going to need to bring a club with some backspin. So this is a great hole to bring a Saturn on. Love Saturns. If you've got some upper developed clubs and you're looking for a club that's got more backspin than a Saturn, Grim Reaper, when it gets to level 6, has 100% backspin, and it's more accurate than your Saturn. So, bringing a club that's going to if you bring a club that doesn't have any backspin and you're trying to get on the other side of this rough, you're not going to be able to stop the ball. You're going to end up on the backside. But when you're from over here, you can run it up. You got a nice clear path. You can be lots of separation. This stuff is completely out of play. And the further you can get out there, obviously, the more you can get this stuff out of play. So if you're in this area, then you're going to have to address it. You're going to have to start off on this side and then bring the ball back to the right. If you're in the rough out here and you've got upper developed stuff, you've got a nice clear path. If you're in the rough out here, let's say if you're in the rough over here, you got a path. But if you're in the rough on this side, you're pretty much your only shot's going to be, even if you've got not good stuff, is your red line's going to be right in here. You'll probably have to do a max overpower hook in order to get up on the green or get yourself up here in front. Consistency wise, I think going over here is the way to go. And you don't have to get all the way out there. If you've got lower developed stuff, your big topper is not very accurate. Your extra mile is not very accurate. Using your accurate clubs is better. But the quarterback, especially if it's like, I think at level 6 or 7, it only has like 3.5 topspin. It needs to your commons really need to get to level 8. That's when they really start to shine. They're usable before that, but when they get to level 8, that's when you start to see why everybody likes these commons, why everybody likes that sniper, and why everybody likes that Saturn. I like the common cards. I think if you go out there and you play day to day, if you only had one bag and all your clubs were common cards, you could kick a lot of people's butts just because those clubs are super accurate and you can put yourself in the right spot. I'm going to try and get out here to the tip, and I'm not, on my notes, I've got using an extra mile and a Kingmaker. But I think you could also use a rock because I'm not sure that I'm using all the topspin here. So you really could use a rock. With this account, I've got a maxed out rock, and here's the thing. This is a commitment now because I'm in Kings of Golf 3. If I get out there and I don't like the way the rock looks, then I'm in I don't have any I don't have any options, because there's no like, hey, I tried the rock and I didn't like that look, so I'll just switch to bag number 2 and I'll pull out my extra mile. Whatever you bring out there, it better be the club. It better be the one. So hold on one second. All right, I wanted to go back and kind of watch the practice rounds and the qualifying rounds just to kind of see what I did. So I was using I used a big topper on there. If we look at big topper, let me switch this over to a rock. If we look at big topper versus the rock, I've got 47. I used about 7. I used the big topper and I used about 7 topspin. But where my red line put me is I was back away. So there's probably about 2 of that topspin just to get me up to the right spot. So I'm gonna bring my rock just to see what the distance is on it. That way I know. I'm gonna bring my rock, and I'm coming at this with a grizzly. Let's make sure. Maybe rock, maybe cam. I'm gonna use a rock and a grizzly. We'll try it out. That's my, looks like a rare bag there. I'm gonna bring a Titan, only because I don't want to have to buy any more Kingmakers. So I'll save some of those Kingmakers for the weekend round. Let's get something rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right, here we go. Rock. I'm in the 1 bag days. I feel like I'm back at the beginning of the game. I remember going on a tournament hole, and I went in and I looked at my extra mile, and I for some reason I didn't select my extra mile. I looked at it. I got that part right, and I brought a QB to a. Boy, that was I brought a QB to the wrong fight. QB's an awesome club, but that hole I needed to bring something big, and I did not. So 3.4. So there's 3.4 rings, 100% accurate club. I think this will work fine. Isn't it perfect? I was able to get more forward distance right there versus the big topper. That even though I don't have the top spin that the big topper's got, I was able to pick that distance up with the rock. So with a quarterback, you've got about the same raw distance as your big topper. And so you'll probably end up not maybe halfway through that if you brought a QB, and you'll have a nice window going in there. So you could bring one of your accurate clubs. I think in my lower level account, I am shooting this with a QB. I'm not trying to break any records as far as distance on that drive. I just want to get out there into that so that I have a shot coming in. This drive is not what's important. What's important is giving yourself a great shot to come into the cup. And you do that by being in the fairway. Because if you're in the rough right there, it's not that you couldn't get on depending on what clubs you have in your bag. It's just that your shot's diminished. Okay, there's max club. So I'm right at max. I need to leave myself a little bit of room so I can work the wind out. I'm going to just dial it up to the cup. Make sure we're pointing right at it. 2.6 on hole number 5. I'm going to do a 10%, so that's going to be 2.9. That's going to be just a sliver shy of three rings. And I hit it great to the right. Anticipation. And I ended up great to the left. So what does that tell you? I hit a shot great to the right, and I ended up great to the left, and I ended up on the left-hand side of the cup. So that's not good. The problem there is that there's slope right out here on this, and I can't tell. I can't, I could look at that and go, hey, I need to make a bigger wind adjustment in order to pull, because I'm way off. That shot's way off. I hit it great to the right, and I ended up on the left-hand side of the cup. But you can't do that when you hit greats. If I had hit that perfect, then I could go back and go, hey, what was the deal here? Like, what adjustment could I make? But there's so much movement down here on the course that a great one way or the other is going to drastically change where you end up on the green. I like my distance, though. So as far as like getting out there with the rock and not having to do any overpower and just throwing it out there as far as it'll go with its topspin, that distance puts me right there at my red line, shooting the max club. But that's definitely worth going back and taking a look at and recognizing that there may be some kind of an adjustment that we have to make here. And I really wish that I'd hit that perfect, because we could have got a great read from it. But as it is, I all I can look at there is that, hey, my distance was good. I did notice in practice that on some of these holes, I was going right at them like that, and it seemed like they were bleeding off a little bit, and that they were actually going longer than what the ball guide was showing. But during the tournament, it seems like it's like the ball guide's like telling the truth. It was lying during practice. Although, like you and everybody else, I got very little practice because our community doesn't want to replay. So during the practice sessions, I played probably 100 matches trying to get these holes, and I picked up maybe 30. And during that 30, I got 4 people that wanted to replay. Everybody wants to do one and done. I guess the 20,000 coins is so cost prohibitive that people just can't do it. I understand that if you got lower developed stuff, but I was playing in my upper developed account where everybody's got coins. If you're so broke with a count that's got 2,500 trophies and as a master rating, and you're so broke that you can't afford to blow 20,000 at the drop of a hat, you probably should. Your play must suck. All right. That was hole number 5 of the Winter Major in the opening round of the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.